Major cities are losing high-end buyers right now, but Portland is one of the top luxury markets in the entire country. If you compare Portland to other metros, something strange happens. Population loss, price drops, oversupply. But Portland is doing the opposite across the board. I've been living here my entire life, and if you're thinking about buying or investing in Portland, today you'll understand why the city operates on a completely different set of rules. New York lost over 500,000 people. San Francisco's population is down approximately 3.6% from pre-pandemic levels. Chicago saw cumulative losses of roughly 3% over the same period. Even cities that started recovering, like Los Angeles, only returned to positive growth in 2023 and 2024 after years of decline. In Portland, we have a completely different story. The Portland-South Portland metro area has maintained consistent net inward migration between April 2020 and July 2022. Maine, as a state, has received 34,000 new residents. In Cumberland County, which includes Portland, accounted for 5,000 of those newcomers. The city itself has grown from 68,000 in 2020 to 69,000 in 26, a 1.57% increase over 4 years. Now that might not sound massive, but when you compare it to San Francisco's decline, or New York losing over 500,000 people, Portland's growth becomes significant. And this isn't random. Portland's growth is driven by a very specific migration pattern that most people miss. Between 2015 and 2019, more than 4,000 people relocated from Boston to the Portland metro area, while about 3,600 moved to the opposite direction. That's a net gain of roughly 6,000 people. But the real story is who's moving. Boston attracts younger professionals chasing early career opportunities. Portland attracts older professionals, new families, and retirees, people seeking a lower cost of living while keeping access to amenities. And I see this every single day. Remote work has supercharged this pattern. Boston-based knowledge workers are relocating to Portland while keeping their Boston salaries. They get coastal access, outdoor recreation, and a walkable downtown at a fraction of the cost. No joke. And wait until you see what this lifestyle access actually looks like. The 20-minute rule I'll break down in a few minutes completely changes how you think about location value. Stick around. Now, here's the reality. Portland's metro unemployment sits at approximately 2.7%, one of the lowest in the nation, and the city has consistently ranked among the top markets for job quality. The job market here isn't exploding with new corporate headquarters, but the remote work economy is real. People work for companies in New York, Boston, or San Francisco and live here because the lifestyle fits, period. And what this means for you is demand stability. Demand stability from in-migration offsets the pressures you're seeing in other suburban markets. While other cities are shrinking, Portland's still growing. The growth creates sustained housing demand that doesn't exist in places losing population. But sustained demand without the right supply balance creates pressure. And that brings us to what happened with prices. Okay, before we move on, I need to mention something quick. If you're considering Portland and wondering whether this growth pattern actually translates to opportunities right now, I help buyers and sellers make decisions in this market every single day. My contact info is in the description below. All right, now let's get back into it. Most cities saw price drops. Portland hit all-time highs, then stabilized. Austin's down 14.8% from peak since 2020. Denver experienced a 3.4% decline. San Francisco fell approximately 15% from peak levels. Meanwhile, Portland's median home price went up. Right now, between 2022 peaks and 2025, a lot of big US markets took big hits. And here's what nobody's telling you. That kind of pullback is the story in most cities. It's not the story here. Nationally, year-over-year price growth slowed to just 1.1% by October 2025, and price declines hit 32 of the top 100 metro areas. That's the broadest softening since early 2010. Portland did not follow the script, period. Portland's median home price hit highs in 2024 and early 2025 and then stabilized. They didn't collapse. Right now, when you cross-check Redfin and Zillow, the typical median home price range in Portland sits in the mid-500s to 600 range. Redfin's 2025 median price was in the high 600s, up 20.8% year over year. Zillow's January 2026 average home value was in the mid-500s, down only 0.7% year over year. Let's put this in perspective. Statewide, Maine's median home price sits in the low to mid 400,000 range. Portland commands about a 30% to 50% premium over that statewide number. No joke. And when we talk about Portland's undersupply problem in a few minutes, you're going to see exactly why price resilience isn't just temporary. Stay with me. Now, here's what's different about Portland compared to Austin or Denver. Those markets got hit with supply gluts. Too many listings, too much new inventory, oversupply drove prices way down. Portland doesn't have that issue. And that's the reality. Portland's geography constrains new inventory in ways most cities don't deal with. So you don't get the same deflation pressure you see in oversupplied markets. You just don't. And I see this every single day. The mismatch between demand and available inventory has been the main driver of price resilience. Portland can't build its way out of demand the way sprawling Sunbelt metros can. Choices. So if you're waiting for Portland prices to crash like Austin or San Francisco, you're waiting for something that can't happen the same way here. Not with this setup, not with this supply. Portland's price path is decoupled from national urban trends because supply-demand imbalance here is permanent, not cyclical. But there's something else driving this decoupling that most people completely overlook. It's not just about the numbers, it's about what you actually can access. Here's the data point I promised earlier. Portland gives you access to the ocean, mountains, lakes, and Boston, all within 2 hours or less. And the inside city itself, you're basically never more than 20 minutes from something. Honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons Portland operates differently than other cities. Now let me break that down. Portland sits on a peninsula in Casco Bay facing the Atlantic. So you've got real waterfront, not fake waterfront. You've got trails like the Eastern Promenade, you've got kayaking in protected water, you've got beaches within city limits, and you can literally walk to the water from downtown. No joke. The White Mountains in New Hampshire are about 2 to 3 hours away on I-93 with peaks in the 4,000 to 6,300 foot range. And if you want something closer, Pleasant Mountain in Bridgeton is 2,000 feet and it's only 1 hour west. So you can ski, you can hike real terrain, and you can be back to Portland for dinner. That's not normal. Sebago Lake and the broader lake region are about 30 to 45 minutes northwest. Boating, fishing, swimming, lake house access, all of it, and it feels like vacation. But it's closer than most people's commute. Seriously. Roughly 108 miles south on I-95 and about an hour and a half to 2 hours by car, so you can get business travel, cultural events, major airports, and you can come back the same day without paying Boston prices or dealing with Boston chaos. Choices. And here's the thing. Inside Portland itself, outdoor recreation is everywhere. Eastern Promenade Trail, Four River Sanctuary, Mackworth Island, 10 minutes up in Falmouth, Back Cove Trail, Bradbury Mountain State Park, hiking, biking, kayaking, trails, you name it. We have it here. You're never more than 20 minutes from nature. That's the difference. Now remember this access advantage because it's directly tied to the luxury market explosion I'm breaking down shortly, and why out-of-state buyers see Portland completely differently than locals. Stick around. Now, here's what nobody's telling you. This combo, ocean, mountains, lakes, and Boston proximity creates a lifestyle proposition that's almost impossible to replicate. Comparable mid-sized coastal cities either don't have mountain access, like Charleston or Savannah, or they don't give you ocean access like Denver or Boulder. Portland gives you both, plus lakes, plus Boston within 2 hours. That's the thing, and I see this every single day. Buyers coming from New York, Boston, or California aren't simply looking for a house. They're looking for instant outdoor access without giving up the stuff that they like about cities. Walkability, restaurants, events, a real downtown, the whole deal. Portland delivers this in a way sprawling Sunbelt metros just can't. They can sprawl and build, but they can't recreate this exact access mix. So what this means for you is sustained lifestyle demand that doesn't exist in traditional urban markets. You're buying into a small city with big city attributes and unmatched outdoor positioning. That's why the buyer pool here is different, and that demand sticks. Which brings us to the fundamental constraint that makes all of this possible, and permanent. Most cities are oversupplied, Portland is permanently undersupplied. Denver's got significant distressed office space, trading at heavy discounts, while in Portland, we literally can't build more land. Right now, a lot of major US cities are drowning in inventory. Austin's office market is sitting around 22 to 27% vacancy downtown, and developers are still adding supply to shiny new trophy buildings that are mostly empty. Denver's downtown office vacancy hit 37.7% in Q4 of 25, with millions of square feet labeled distressed and trading at significant discounts from pre-pandemic pricing. San Francisco, after sustained outbound migration, is dealing with chronic oversupply across both office and residential. Yikes. Here's the root cause. Permitting and zoning lets these markets add supply really fast, right when demand started dropping after the pandemic, once remote work kicked in. So markets like Austin and Denver got hit with the double whammy. Demand fell, supply rose. Portland is the opposite, completely. Portland's undersupply is structural, and it's rooted in geography and zoning that can't be changed because someone wants it to. The area sits on a peninsula surrounded by the ocean and Casco Bay, and the Presumpscot River system limits expansion to the west. Most of the buildable land already has something on it. And unlike sprawling Sunbelt metros, Portland just can't annex a huge chunk of undeveloped land and start building outward. Let me put this in perspective. Austin can expand for miles. Denver can sprawl into the plains. Portland is boxed in by water on 3 sides. There's no magic next suburb to develop because the land literally isn't there. No joke. Now, Portland's zoning code, updated in 23, with amendments still ongoing, splits the city into neighborhoods with different density rules. RN3 zones like Western Promenade allow mixed housing on lots of at least 6,000 square feet. RN5 zones allow a little bit higher density on 2,000 square foot lot minimums. RN7 zones on Peninsula allow townhomes and multifamily at higher densities. And then you've got B3, B5, B6 zones that allow mixed use downtown development. All of this still runs into the same wall. Limited land. You can allow higher density all you want, but if there's no land to build on it, it doesn't matter. That's the difference. And I see this every single day. New construction in Scarborough, Westbrook, and Falmouth helps, but those towns are running into their own affordability problems, and they can't absorb the full demand for Portland proper properties. Plus, new homes in Scarborough are listing anywhere from the low to mid 700,000s up, which is basically right in line with city pricing for Portland. What this means for you is Portland's constrained supply cushions the market against demand shocks. Unlike Austin, Denver, or San Francisco, where rising inventory plus falling demand created downward pricing pressure, Portland's structural undersupply creates price resilience you just don't see in undersupplied markets. We just don't have an abundance of land like those big areas have, and that permanent scarcity is creating something unexpected at the top of the market. Most luxury markets are cooling. Portland's luxury market continues to rank among the most competitive in the country. Here's where Portland really breaks from national trends. Nationally, there's been a big split between luxury homes, usually over $1 million, and everything else. Luxury home prices have consistently outpaced non-luxury price growth, with luxury prices climbing at 11%, while non-luxury homes only gained about 6% over the same time period. The gap is real. But here's what nobody's telling you. In a lot of major metros, luxury demand weakened for a few reasons. Tax changes, especially SALT deductions in high-tax states. Downtown getting worse, with office vacancy, retail vacancy, and street conditions, and people relocating out of expensive primary resident markets. Portland's luxury market is doing the opposite completely. Maine's luxury market, homes over $1 million, saw 1,000 homes sell in 2024. That's nearly 4x what it was in 2019, when it was 307. Portland ranked among the top luxury markets in the US according to the Wall Street Journal and Realtor.com analysis, with a median luxury home price around $1.7 million. Huge. Now, let me show you where this is really happening. Munjoy Hill, East End, urban views, close to downtown. Based on current listings, homes are selling across a wide range with individual properties from the high 600s to over 2.6 million, reflecting the neighborhood's mix of condos and single-family homes. West End, historic Victorians. Walkable to downtown, the median home value sits around $598,000, typically for condos, with properties ranging in the low 300s, way past the $2 million range depending on property type and condition. Eastern Promenade, waterfront views plus Eastern Prom trail access. Homes and condos in premium location start around $600,000 all the way up to $3 million, with a median neighborhood value of right around $1 million. Cape Elizabeth, oceanfront estates. This is the most expensive market with homes from the low to mid $1 million all the way up to $15 million range and beyond. Falmouth Fourside, premier coastal location, marinas, and you're approximately 15 minutes to Portland. Properties in the low to high $1 million and above range. Yarmouth, about 15 minutes to Portland, historic homes, real community feel, listings here from $1 million to the upper $6 million range. And here's the thing, real estate firms are still seeing serious activity. Legacy Properties Sotheby's International Realty surpassed $1 billion in sales in 2024 and ranked #1 for Maine waterfront properties in all homes over $500,000. Now, here's why Portland's luxury market thrives where others struggle. First, perception of affordability. Buyers moving from New York, Boston, or California see Portland luxury prices as accessible. A $1.2 million oceanfront property feels like a bargain compared to $3 million plus in the Hamptons or the California coast. The affordability illusion is powerful. Out-of-state luxury buyers don't reset expectations, they anchor to what they're used to paying. That's the difference. And remember, the ocean, mountains, and Boston access we covered earlier, that's exactly what these buyers are paying for. A lifestyle combo that they can't get anywhere else at this price point. And I see this often. I put a buyer under contract today for a $1.4 million house. That's not crazy. That's the entry level for a lot of out-of-state buyers. They think it's normal. That skewed perspective drives luxury demand you just don't get in markets where locals are the only buyers. Period. Second, lifestyle appeal. Unlike sprawling metro areas, Portland's luxury segment lines up with coastal lifestyle demand. Waterfront access, walkable downtowns, outdoor recreation, and real cultural amenities, like restaurants, galleries, and breweries, you name it. This pulls in baby boomers and empty nesters looking for second homes or lifestyle moves, not just investment properties. Third, scarcity of waterfront living. Waterfront properties in Maine average about $578 per square foot, compared to Massachusetts coastal properties at $1,200 to $1,800 per foot. Yet Maine's coastline attracts the same buyers. So you've got demand, and you've got limited inventory, and you've got geography that stops new waterfront development. That's a recipe for resilience. Portland's luxury market behaves like a coastal lifestyle market, not an urban core. High-end properties stay liquid, and they absorb price drops more slowly than non-luxury segments. So if you're targeting the luxury market in Portland, you're also competing with out-of-state buyers who think your $1.2 million property is a steal. It's access and it's affordability. Our luxury sector stays fairly consistent because people think it's still affordable, and they're coming from larger areas where price point is entry level. That's the truth. Portland's reversal of every major urban trend isn't luck. It's structural geography, lifestyle access, and permanent supply constraints working together. These aren't temporary pandemic patterns that will fade when remote work normalizes. If you're planning to buy or sell in the Portland area over the next 12 months and need someone who understands why this market operates differently, email me, which is on the screen right now. I'll walk you through the specific opportunities and challenges in your target neighborhoods. And the video I've linked here breaks down something strange happening right now, where half of Portland sellers just cut their prices, while Cape Elizabeth saw significant year-over-year appreciation. You need to see what's causing this split before you make any moves in 2026. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.